Hey guys, welcome back to the Head Up podcast. Today we've got a pretty special guest on the podcast, the current Victoria Thunderbolts under 20s player, Aman Singh. How you going, man?
Good, thanks, boys. How you going?
Yeah,
Great.
it's good. Yeah, we're joined with Josh and Connor as always, and it's been a while since we've done a podcast, boys? But we're glad to be back and get it rolling. It's been a bit iffy in the off season, but we'll get some content out for you guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go, Connor.
Yeah, so what we like to do is at the start of every podcast, we have a segment called the Set of Six. So I'm going to ask you 6 quick-fired questions, and you have to answer with what comes off the top of your head. Are you keen for that?
Oh, good. Yeah, it's easy.
All right. Who was your favourite NRL team growing up?
St. George.
What's your favourite fast food?
KFC.
Who will be the most improved NRL team next year?
Gold Coast.
Who will be the biggest fallers?
Biggest what, sorry?
The biggest fallers? So, like, go down the ladder?
Oh, oof. That's a tough one, bro.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a stitch
Stitched
up.
him up.
Oh man, that's a stitch up question. Oh, I don't want to answer it. Oh, no, Penrith.
Even if it's one position down.
Yeah.
Bring back the Biff, yes or no?
Yes.
And one player in the NRL that you wouldn't like to run at?
Ooh. I mean, Victor Radley.
smart choice.
Yeah.
Sweet as. So pretty much every guest interview we do, we get some followers to ask questions. Today we didn't get an Instagram story. We actually asked a resident follower of the podcast that actually listens to every podcast called Matty Q. And he's like a big fan of Victoria Rugby League, Melbourne Rugby League. So he's got 3 questions for you and we'll take a turn each at asking. So how did you get scouted for the Thunderbolts originally?
Oh, so I was actually a Penrith junior. I saw the Victorian Thunderbolts at an open trial for the Jersey Flag squad, I think 2019. So I just came down for the weekend. This trial, a couple of years ago now, and was lucky enough to get picked up on a train and trial, and been here ever since.
It's pretty easy way to get it. Next one is have you played in the local league comp in Melbourne at all?
I did. I played for the Waverley Panthers last year in the local senior A grade comp. Reminded me back of the good old Penrith days. Just real tough and physical footy, man. Just real tough big boys that just want to lay you out. But yeah, definitely not for the weaker-hearted.
Sweet. And the last one from Maddie is, how do you think the Bolts would go in the local Victoria League if borders aren't open?
Oh, we actually had a game last year actually in the local comp. Just I think New South Wales were in lockdown, and we did pretty good. We only had one game, and I think we did pretty awesome. We'd really do good.
Yeah, easy. So
Sweet.
what we like to do for every person pretty much is ask like how they got into rugby league and how they started. So we'd love to hear your journey growing up and how you got into rugby league.
Yeah. So basically, obviously I come from an Indian background. Not a lot of us play rugby league. So my dad sort of got me into it at a young age. He did a lot of wrestling back in India, and he wanted to get me into sort of the whole contact sport of it, if you want to say, sort of all that stuff. So I started playing rugby league when I was 5 years old for the club called the Gummel Park Brumbies out in Penrith. And just never played every year since I was 5 years old, and sort of just built my way up there into the Penrith system. And and just so really, obviously it's like a real tough system out in Penrith, like so much competition. So found my way all the way down here to Victoria.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so well, obviously you said you started playing rugby league when you were 5. Were there any other sports that you wanted to play when you were growing up?
Oh, not really, man. Rugby league sort of been everything I've known, to be honest, since I was a kid. I guess I played cricket for a few years, just in my teens, just to do something over the summer, just for a bit of fun. But no, I've always sort of loved rugby league. I can't get away from it.
It's a bloody fun sport.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Do you want to tell us a bit about the position that you play and which NRL player you'd compare yourself to?
Yeah, definitely. So I play I play back row and sometimes lock if I just find myself in the middle. Yeah, got a pretty small body for a forward, so I sort of love to look up to boys like Cameron Murray and Victor Radley and that. Just the boys that that aren't really too big there in the middle on the edges, but sort of just put their body on the line and just give it everything they got. Those are the sort of boys, and Dale Finucane as well. Just like not big bodies, but just boys that just give it their all and just hit hard and run hard. That's what I sort of look up to.
Yeah, I think as a fan, those are the players we love to like for our club. Like for me, it was always Simon Mannering. I loved like that guy that would do everything, So
yeah,
it's the great skill to have. I'll say
100%, 100%, man.
You've obviously been involved in the under-20 setup for a while now. What does the average week look like for you? Like, are you part-time, are you full-time, or how does it work?
Yeah. So, the under-20 system, it's basically we train 4 days a week. It's always after, so we all got the way they structure it, so they let us come to training after work, so it's after hours. So we start about 5:45, we go to about 7:30, 8-ish. So that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we always have a Saturday morning session that starts from, let's say, 7:30 to 10. So that's how it is during pre-season for about, all the way for 6 weeks up until Christmas.
Yeah. I mean, so you said that you have trainings 4 days a week. Is that different in the pre-season? Like, do you do more days in the pre-season, less days?
Pre-season, 4 days a week during pre-season, and on season it's usually just 2 or 3 when we're during the season.
Oh.
Yeah. So 4 days, but they're very long 4 days. Very long afternoons, man. Go
on. Also, what are your thoughts on the Holden Cup obviously getting cancelled a few years ago?
Yeah. I think just for the reasoning behind it, it made a bit of sense. I think they'll just everyone sort of looks down on it, like that they wish they kept the Holden Cup, but I guess just looking at the reasoning behind it, which was the mental health of the boys, the under 20s boys. So I think I feel as I'm all for it, to be honest. You just put so much pressure on kids, like basically kids, man, just moving down as teenagers, and they all look at it as it's all they got. So I'm actually all for it. Like, it's just unnecessary pressure to put on kids, to be honest. So I don't mind the whole discontinuation of it.
Yeah, I used to absolutely love just going to the games in the morning, and then you got the Holden Cup, New South Wales Cup, and then I was grade. Like, that's how I just grew up. They took it away. I was pretty gutted, but from that standpoint, obviously, like a must-do kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So obviously, you mentioned you signed up with the Victoria Thunderbolts for the season that's just happened. Are you still signed for them next season?
No. So this is actually my last, because I'm an actual age group. So we play up until the 21. So So hopefully, just want to really rip in. This is my 3rd year here now. So just really want to rip in with the boys and see what happens from that. See what happens, see where it builds to.
Yeah. Just talking about that, how was the move to Victoria like for you? Because you were in Sydney, I believe, before that. What was that move like at such a young age?
Oh man, it was pretty full on. Like, everything I've ever known was sort of back home in Penrith. But when I first moved down to Victoria, it was, I think, just sort of like a reality hit. Like, you got to make new friends, and it's not always easy with a new bunch of boys that have already played for such a long time together. But it took a while. I think it took a good few weeks before I sort of settled in. But definitely a few days where I wanted to go back home, and especially this year, I was stuck in lockdown here in Melbourne. Whilst we couldn't go back to Sydney, but I was lucky enough to be working the whole time at a school here that we partner with. So I was really lucky to be doing that over lockdown. But definitely some days when I want to go back to Sydney, man.
100%. Do you have any like milestones or dreams in your rugby league career that you want to hit before you retire, or is there any like certain thing that you want to do?
I've always set myself. I've always had this weird one, man. It's pretty special for me if I could become the first ever Indian NRL player. I think that's the one that I've always been sort of chasing. Just to set a precedent or sort of set a goal for all the kids, all Indian kids of background, just to sort of be like, hey, we can also do this, you know. So that's like a real special and big one close to my heart that I wish I could do.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So you just said that you wanted to be the first Indian-born NRL player. Yeah. What you can change in your game to get that call up? Do you reckon there's anything?
Yeah, man, I reckon, just the whole, I think after I played, Jersey Flag last year, I think a big jump from juniors to Jersey Flag, like SG Ball, Parramatta, Jersey Flag, just the aggression. I think it's a lot more physical, a lot more aggression that you need. Fitness-wise, I'm pretty happy, but I think, just aggression and just wanting to get in and amongst it, I reckon. That's what I found, which is pretty tough. But we're working on that during pre-season and hopefully put it into practice next year.
Definitely. Yeah, so keeping on the same topic, how important is it for you to be a role model and an ambassador for rugby league in India, because they're such a massive nation?
Yeah, man, I was sort of really fortunate enough to be doing that work with the NSWRL, the ambassador work. So it just means a lot, just sort of doing that, having an influence on all the kids there. We had like a function, I was talking to a function back in Sydney, and there is a lot of actual kids that actually want to get involved in it. But the problem seems to be that the parents are sort of just caught up in wanting to get their kids into cricket, not into rugby league sort of thing. But I just feel as though, it's sort of that role model sort of thing. I could like have that influence on the kids and be like, we can do it sort of thing. It's not too different to anything else. It's just a sport at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just following up on that, is there any like competitions? Is it quite big over there, or is it still like kind of faded out?
Oh, in India, there's not any competitions as per se, but we do have like an Indian international rugby league team, which is actually based in New Zealand. So we had a game a couple of years ago against Latin America and Colombia, which we won. So a lot of the boys are from South Auckland, actually. So so we won a couple of games, but then COVID was supposed to have another one last year, but COVID sort of put a stop to that. But hopefully get back out there.
Yeah. So is that the Indian Jungle Cats? Is that the same thing, or
so, the Indian Day, that's Jungle Cats.
So how many people like are eligible to play for that? Like, is there a selection process, or is it?
It's just I'm pretty sure it's just ethnicity. If you're like how the normal rugby international ethnicity rules are, if you're grandparent or parent, or if you're born in India or something like that, anything along those lines, you're eligible to play for that.
Yeah. So.
Keeping it on India, do you think that they'll ever have like a nines team that could possibly compete like in nines?
Oh man, 100%. India's actually like rugby union in India is actually getting pretty big. So I think it's just a matter of like expanding it to rugby league. I reckon, probably not in the near future. Just it's still a matter of getting it out there. But definitely, and 1.2 billion people, I think we should have a few people to pick from.
So I was just scrolling on your Instagram and I saw there was a photo of you in the UFC ring. Are you a fan of the sport, and have you done any fighting in the past?
Oh man, I love the UFC, bro. All my best mates back home in Sydney. My best mate actually, he does MMA. He's a kickboxer. I love the sport. Big follower of the sport, man. I'll never do it professionally. I'll never do that. But I love even down here. I do a lot of boxing with my mate. Corey, he's a big good boxer down here. I just love getting involved, especially in the off season, just training, doing something different to rugby league training. I think I just sort of love changing it up.
Yeah. So you've got Adesanya beating Whitaker, or?
Oh, probably not, man. I got Whitaker. I wish Whitaker. Set up the trilogy.
Got to do us to those Kiwis like that.
Yeah.
Just keeping it on the boxing, obviously there's Paul Gallen versus Josh Aloiai coming up, as well as Joey Leilua versus Chris Hetherington. Who do you have those fights?
Oh man, I've been a big Paul Gallen fan since I was a kid, so I'll definitely go Paul Gallen. And the other one, that's a tough one. The other one, I'll probably go. All right, Joey's got that knockout power. It doesn't matter. He's got that Derek Lewis thing about him. He could get beat up the whole fight and he'll just knock him out with one punch. So probably back Joey Leilua on that.
Yeah. Talking about other sports, would you ever consider playing rugby union, or is that like the dark side for you? Would you ever touch that? Or
I did play rugby union growing up as a kid, actually. Just something I think I just enjoyed it more. Just thing that I just had fun with. I don't think I'd ever. I mean, unless I wasn't never too good at it. Too good at it either. I think it's just pretty hard to adapt to it. So I like to stick with rugby league, man. I just had a lot of fun. Too much fun in here.
Yeah. Easy.
Definitely.
Sweet. That's all we really have for you, Aman. We actually really enjoyed that. Any other questions from you boys?
Nah, I don't really have anything. It was really good. Thanks for sticking around and giving us your time. It's been a pleasure, and it was quite short, but we quite enjoyed it. So thanks, man.
No worries, boys. Thanks for having me on. All the best.
First guest in a month, which is good. Our first guest in a month. It's quite hard finding guests, so we really appreciate it.
All good, boys. No worries. Thanks for having me on. All the best.
Yes, thank you.
Sweet.
See ya. Bye.
Oh, he left.
Josh recording.